Yeah, I know, it's the same intro video as last week. I didn't get time to do something a bit different, but that's all right. I can see you starting to arrive in the chat. You can see the countdown on the screen. Talk to you shortly. I have a really big note sitting at the front of the script which says microphone on. It's so good, isn't it? I'll start that bit again. Hello, welcome. This is the 8 p.m. quiz of the year 2023, part 2, take 2. I'm still Garian. If this is the first time you've joined us, welcome. This is a pub-style quiz. There are 45 questions all up. We'll do them in 3 sets of 15. You'll be writing down the answers. You will not be cheating because there's no point, there's no prizes. You'd only be cheating yourself. And after each set of 15 questions, we'll go through and score them, mark them, value them, judge your life, and see how we're all going. Welcome to a lot of regulars I see there. Mr. Avocado, Mr. Fong, Mr. Jim Campbell, Ms. Oberon's Ghost, Robotica, Dana Sibera, all sorts of people there. Something you will have noticed already, and it's important for the kind of live chat mechanics, there's a significant lag between when I say something and when it crawls up to YouTube and when it crawls down to your computer and then you respond and it crawls up to YouTube and then crawls back down to me and then it has to wait until a break in my focus so I can have a bit of a look. So now that there are people saying, oh, we can't hear you, and I go, well, you can now. You just couldn't when the chat was there. And that was, you know, anything up to a minute or two ago. So, and I think it's important to realize I can only look at the chat occasionally. So sudden, you know, things expecting me to respond within seconds. No, it doesn't work that way. I mean, you can chat amongst yourselves. You'll see the delay when you chat amongst yourselves there too. So I've told you that there's 45 questions in 3 sets of 15. I've told you don't cheat. I've told you, oh, don't put answers in the chat. You're writing the answers down at your end, carving them into your arm with a sharp stick, something like that. Don't put the answers in the quiz because it'll spoil it for others, even though it'll make you look very clever if you have the right answer. It will in reality make you look dumb. Don't have time for that. Oh, Merry Christmas, everyone, too. Yes, that thing happened the other day. We did Merry Christmas last time. I suppose I should say Happy New Year, but that's a couple of days to go. I've told you that. I've told you that. I've told you that. I've told you all of those things. So I think we're ready to start. I'm just drinking water this evening because I was incompetent in other ways as well. Right, pencils in hand. Ready, here we go. Question 1. Okay, the first round of 5 questions is always about things in the news. I mean, it kind of all is this time because it's about 2023. Question 1. Who did the Australian Financial Review choose as their business person of the year? The Australian Financial Review, one of the most expensive financial newspapers on the planet, and has really just become it's not what it once was. It really isn't. But who did they name as Australia's business person of the year for 2023? That will be for a point. Question 2. There was various tropical cyclones this year causing flooding. There was one in January off the northwest coast of Western Australia that came in and caused flooding in the Kimberley. What was the name of that cyclone? And just days ago, there was one off the Queensland coast which caused a lot of rainfall in the northern parts of Queensland. What was the name of that cyclone? You have 2 cyclone names to come up with. One in January rather, and one just now. That's question 2. Question 3. Football Australia is no longer bidding to host the 2034 FIFA World Cup. That's the football, the round ball game. So there's only one confirmed bid in for it. So it looks like this country will get it. What is that country that's almost certain to host the 2034 World Cup? Sport, I know. Question 4. In the early part of this year, Dominic Perrottet was Premier of New South Wales. Remember him? Anyway, he had to make an apology in January. I know, it was less than a year ago. What did Dominic Perrottet have to apologise for in January of this year? I mean, apart from just his government generally, for existing, for all of those things. What did Dominic Perrottet apologise for in January? That's question 4. And question 5 is our first picture question. And as usual, the picture question contains 3 people who have been in the news, or at least on my computer screen this year. So there you go. Who are those 3 people? I've just realised I've got the 8 PM quiz watermark sort of straight over the face of the guy on his left. If only he had some other distinguishing features. Look, I think you should be able to get 2 of these at least. The bloke in the middle, I think the hint is he's a sports ball player. Okay, that's question 5. That's the first 5. The next 5 questions are a special subject round, and this time the special subject round is about Canberra, our nation's capital. So for question 6, what's that? What are we looking at there on the screen? That is a place in Canberra. What is it? You either know or you don't. I'll leave it on screen a moment longer so you can have a bit of a think. Question 7, in what year was Australia's first Parliament building officially opened? It's the one we now call Old Parliament House. In what year was it opened? That's question 7. Question 8. If you were paying attention last time, you will know the answer to this. Question 8 is, how many members are there in Australia's Senate? Which is to say, how many senators are there at any given time, not counting people who seem to have forgotten that they are no longer senators and style themselves as a senator in exile. That's not relating to a question coming up. How many actual legitimate senators are there in Canberra? That's question 8. Question 9. Canberra was chosen as the nation's capital. Its name was chosen out of a whole range of suggestions. Which one of these that I'm about to read out to you is not one of the names suggested for the new city by members of Parliament? So there's a fascinating document showing them all. But here are some of the names that could have been Canberra: Austral, Pacific Queen, Southern Cross, Union City, and Wheat Wool Gold. That's the words wheat, wool, and gold run together. Austral, Pacific Queen, Southern Cross, Union City, and Wheat Wool Gold. One of those is not one of the names suggested by members of Parliament. Which one? I read them again. Austral, Pacific Queen, Southern Cross, Union City, and Wheat Wool Gold. That's question 9. Question 10, Patricia Piccinini, that's a person's name, Patricia Piccinini, is responsible for creating which Canberra icon? Patricia Piccinini. It's a Canberra icon. It has sometimes been controversial. I personally don't think so. I personally quite like it, but there are certainly people who do not like this Canberra icon, which was created by Patricia Piccinini. If it helps, she was born in Sierra Leone. Probably doesn't help. That's question 10. Now we go into round 3, which is about geekery. Okay, let's power through these. We don't want to run too late. We ran very late last time. Question 11. Who came first? Thomas Alva Edison, inventor of a whole range of things, or Alexander Graham Bell of telephone fame? And by came first, who was born earlier? Was it Thomas Alva Edison? You know, gramophone, what else do you do? Light bulb, that sort of thing. Or Alexander Graham Bell of telephone fame. Who was born first? Thomas Edison or Alexander Graham Bell? Question 12 is for 3 points because there are 3 answers. I want to know which are the 12th, 13th and 14th elements in the periodic table of the elements. Elements number 12, 13 and 14. Hi, Joanna Forbes. Answering Taylor Swift to every question. I mean, it's a strategy. Hi, Redfern Mike. Who else is there? Anyway, periodic table, numbers 12, 13 and 14. That is in and of itself, question 12. Question 13, who is Sam Altman? A-L-T-M-A-N. I mean, he's Sam Altman, obviously, but in terms of why is he significant? I mean, for some value of significant. He's been in the news during the year in relation to his day job. There we go. How does that okay? Sam Altman, A-L-T-M-A-N. Who is he? What's his thing? That's question 13. Question 14, these are all the names of what? I'm going to read out some names of things. They are all a type of thing. What are they? Chalk Hill Blue, Duke of Burgundy, Grizzled Skipper, Purple Hair Streak, or White Admiral? Okay, let's go through them. Chalk Hill Blue, Duke of Burgundy, Grizzled Skipper, Purple Hair Streak, and White Admiral are all kinds of what? Chalk Hill Blue, Duke of Burgundy, Grizzled Skipper, Purple Hair Streak, and White Admiral. And the final question in the first segment, question 15, is the critter question. A question about a... I first did that and I realised I couldn't say it, and I'm going to continue doing that for every episode of this stupid quiz. The critter question, what is this? I suppose you could actually say, who is this? But what is this? Hi Wade, that's all right, you're late. We're just wrapping up the first segment, so you've got 2/3 of it to run. Question 15, what is that there in the picture? The more I look at that, the more disturbing it is, isn't it? Okay, lock in your answer. Wait, there's nothing to lock in. just be ready to check your answers. Okay, here we go. You need to total up your points as you go along here too, right? You know, that's how this works. You need to do the scoring. Question 1, here we go. Who is the Australian Financial Review's Business Person of the Year? 1 point for Gina Rinehart, the 8th richest woman in the world at time of counting or something, whatever, at time of in the last episode. 1 point for Gina Rinehart. The 2 tropical cyclones for a point each were Ellie and Jasper. Ellie was spelled E-L-L-I-E. I don't care how you've spelt it, but you know whether you got Ellie or not. And Jasper. Question 3, FIFA World Cup 2034. Saudi Arabia, boys and girls. Saudi Arabia is the one that's likely to host that, so there won't be any controversy about that at all, will there? Question 4, Dominic Perrottet, former Premier of New South Wales, had to apologise for, and the answer is dressing as a Nazi for his 21st birthday party. Yeah, another of those, like Prince Harry did apparently, allegedly. Oh no, there were photos, so we know he did. Dominic Perrottet dressed as a Nazi. And question 5, the first picture question, who are these people? On the left, that is Ben Roberts-Smith, an expert in the art of defamation proceedings. Ben Roberts-Smith there on the left. In the middle, that is a young footballer by the name of Devon Robertson. He plays for the Brisbane Lions, and back in August, there was a bit of on-field kerfuffle and his shirt got ripped to pieces. So for about a minute, he played without a shirt until the umpires decided that wasn't the way to go. And then on the right, that is, of course, Rupert Murdoch. Rising from the sea after having slept in his lair for some time. So Ben Roberts-Smith, Devon Robertson of the Brisbane Lions. I'll accept half a point for a bloke from the Brisbane Lions, or half a point for Devon, or something like that. And Rupert Murdoch. And then going straight on with question 6, for 1 point, that is the National Library of Australia, the NLA, the National Library of Australia, for a point. Then we go on to question 7. The Parliament House was opened in 1927, is the year you were looking there for a point. No, Robotica, no points for Mr. Burns, although we do understand that's how all that fits together. But that is not going to get you a point on this occasion. Question 7 was 1927 for the opening of Parliament. Question 8, how many senators are there in the Senate? The answer is 76. 76 senators in the Senate. Sell sheep by the seashore. 76 for a point. Now, this next one was trickier, the names. The one that was not suggested by an MP was wheat wool gold. That was suggested by a general member of the public. Other such suggestions from the general public included kangaroo and Sidmel Brisho for Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Adelaide, Brisbane, Hobart. Sidmel Brisho. Don't let it really was the Canberra face of its day, wasn't it? So wheat wool gold would have got you the point. There was also one that collapsed together the names of the colonies. And Patricia Piccinini is responsible for this Canberra icon, Sky Whale. There it is. I could just watch Sky Whale all day. Just look at those pendulous breasts floating majestically across the Australian landscape. Okay, that's Sky Whale. That gets you a point. And now on to round 3, the geekery. Who came first, Edison or Alexander Graham Bell? The answer is Edison, but only by about 3 weeks. Edison was born on the 11th of February 1847, and Bell was born on the 3rd of March 1847, about 3 weeks later. So a point for Thomas Alva Edison. Question 12, the 3 elements 12, 13 and 14 are, a point each, magnesium, aluminium and silicon. I reckon you need to have got them in the right order to get the points. right? You know? Okay, so that's magnesium, aluminium, and silicon. 1 point each, magnesium, aluminium, silicon. Question 13, who is Sam Altman, or why? He is the CEO of OpenAI, the primarily Microsoft-funded company, foundation slash thing responsible for ChatGPT and a whole range of other products. Very much in the news for the last year. So a point there, question 13, the CEO of OpenAI. I'll give you half a point for if you said of ChatGPT or of a big AI company or whatever. If you made that kind of link, I think you can get half a point for that. Question 14. Those are all the names of butterflies. The Chalkhill Blue, Duke of Burgundy, Grizzled Skipper, Purple Hair Streak, White Admiral, Purple Monkey Dishwasher Hair Streak. So a point for butterfly. And finally, the critter question. That on screen now, dear player, is King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. I did smudge out his signet ring there because that would have been a little bit of a giveaway. It showed his badge with the three feathers. Was that of the Prince of Wales? Anyway, a point there for Charles III, and that. I'll get that off screen. That's really quite disturbing, isn't it? There's 20 points possible in that first section. So when you're adding up your points, 20 is what it adds up to. I'll remind everyone again, and particularly new players, getting even 50% of the score in this quiz is considered quite good. It is a tough quiz. Dr. Ms. Katz, 7 points there. Mr. Avocados, 7. Joanna Forbes notes you'd think he could afford a manicure, that the Prince of Wales. Yes, apparently he chews his fingernails. It's a nervous thing he does. That's something I learned by watching The Crown. I learned many other things from watching The Crown as well. And there is an episode of the 9 p.m. Edict podcast coming out tomorrow with co-host Snarky Platypus, who's in the chat as we speak. Yeah, we might mention The Crown. Ghost Diana. Ghost Diana. Oh, there's some 8s there. Mick Fong, 10 out of 20. That is fantastic. Good work. Pete Sandlin, 6. Yeah. Robotica, 5. That's probably quite good given the amount of gin you reportedly have consumed so far. Excellent. Let's go into the next section, shall we? Yeah, straight into it. The next round is media. 5 questions about the media, which I include all forms of media. I include sport as a media thing because it's a spectator thing that you watch. It's a bit like theatre. It's a bit like soap opera, a bit like sitcom, a bit like a crime show. Question 16. I know someone in the chat who knows the answer to this. One of the very best Australian movies to be released in 2023 was a Netflix film. It was a romantic comedy titled Love is in the Air. It starred a singer in the lead role. For 1 point, who was that singer? And for a second point, what job did they have? And I'll give you a clue. It does relate to the title of the movie, which, as I said, was Love is in the Air. So who was the singer in the title role? Or not the title role, you know what I mean. In the lead role. And what was that character's job? It is not John Paul Young. It is nothing to do with the previous thing. Okay, this is a new Netflix movie called Love is in the Air. And it's, well, I have the trailer ready to play. I might play the trailer a bit later. I just have this feeling that having the Netflix sort of symbolic sound appear in the audio for this will suddenly cause a copyright strike on it. So maybe not. There you go. Question 16. Who was the singer who played in the lead role, and what was that character's job? Question 17. The Melbourne Open is a tennis tournament. I want to know who won the men's singles and the women's singles and which countries they were from. So there's 4 points up here. I want a man's name and a country, and a woman's name and a country in this wonderfully simplistic binary world of professional tennis. We are talking about the Australian Open, which was in January in Melbourne, and it was a game of tennis. Who won the men's singles and who won the women's singles in the Melbourne Open this year? That's question 17. Question 18, the ARIA Music Awards were held last month. Who won Best Pop Release for 2023? I want the artist's name and the song's name. So that's 2 points up for grabs. Who won the Best Pop Music Release in the ARIA Music Awards, the Australian Recording Industry Association Music Awards 2023, held last month? See, Jonas App, Taylor Swift. It was not Taylor Swift. That was question 18. Question 19. Yeah, it's a bit of television-y movie stuff this time. I will not apologise for that. Just how the questions went. Question 19. Mother and Son, a classic Australian television sitcom, was remade for the 21st century this year. Oh, that was quite alarming. So there are 5 points up for grabs here. First, what year did the original series of Mother and Son start in? It ran for pretty much a decade, but what year did it begin? For two more points, who were the lead roles played by, as in the mother and the son in the original series, and in the 2023 series, for the remaining 2 points, who plays the mother and the son? Pretty straightforward. The question, what year did it all start? Who were the 2 actors in the first series, and who were the 2 actors in the new series? Which, quite frankly, is very good. And I know various people whinge, oh, it's not the same. Well, of course it's not the fucking same. 2023 is not the same as whatever year it was in which the original one was made and or set. Right? The world changed. It's very good. You should watch it. It's on iView. So that's question 19, mother and son. Question 20. Oh, I haven't gone on to the next bit. I didn't preload the images. There we go. Question 20, picture round. Who's that? Or who are that? There are 3 people on... Oh! Something bad just happened. There they are. I hope I didn't just lose a photograph. No, good. I won't bother trying to explain what I just did, except to say it was really annoying. So, yeah. No, we're good. We're good. Up there. Who are those 3 people? Remember, this is the media section. Oh, is the green screen thing not liking my shirt? Let me give it a go. Let me have a look at that. Because I was wearing a significantly darker shirt last time. Camera effects. Why isn't that showing on screen? Sorry, you chat amongst yourselves while you're having a look at that. Oh, all the way over here. There I am. Let's see. This is the there we go. There we go. Sorry about that before. I can see what's happening. That was doing a bit of the old moire effect, wasn't it? Which is sorry if I faded in and out there. Have you had enough looking at those people? Yes, I think you have. That was question 20, was that picture question. Okay, next set of 5 is about world affairs. As you know, I think we should all know a bit more about what's happening in the world around us. So here's a whole bunch of questions about that. Question 21, the Rohingya people. Pretty much all of them refugees, because the nation where they were living sort of basically said, no, you are not people, you are not us. So the Rohingya people are refugees from which nation, and primarily what religion do they tend to follow? So the Rohingya people are refugees from where? Not where many of them have refugeed to, but where did they originally come from? What country is that in now? And what religion are they, broadly speaking? So that's 2 points there. That's question 21. Question 22 is name the top 3 lithium-producing countries. And for this one, I'll accept them in any order. It's a fairly clear list too. So lithium producing, not known lithium reserves, but actually currently at the time of streaming producing lithium. What are the top 3 lithium producing countries? As you know, it's used in lithium ion batteries and various electrical things and things like that. I'll just scratch my ear while you're having a bit of a think about that. Question 23. Who became this year the first ever international leader to address the Parliament of Papua New Guinea? I mean, I don't know whether that's because they haven't ever invited anyone, or no one's offered, or no one can be asked. But this year, someone became the first international, by international leader, I mean the leader of a country other than Papua New Guinea. Yeah? That makes sense? So who was it? Who was this first person? And for a second point in question 23, who is the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea? I want their name. The Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea. Our nearest neighbour. You can virtually walk to Papua New Guinea from northern Queensland. Ish. There's an island that's... Anyway, very close. So that's question 23. Who was the first leader to address the PNG Parliament? And who's the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea? Question 24. Now, this is a story which has fascinated me in recent weeks. So I'm intrigued to know how many of you know about this. Question 24. Which country is recording the highest GDP growth? As in, which country's economy is growing the fastest? And I'll let you know that in the year 2023 is not quite finished yet, so we don't have those numbers. But in 2022, this country's economy grew by 62.4%. This year, it's looking like being around 27.2. This is according to Standard & Poor's, I think I got this figure from. And over 30% next year in 2024. So there's 4 points up for grabs here. I want the name of the country. I want the one obvious thing that is fueling this economic growth. which neighbouring country is gearing up for a potential invasion because they want a bit of this action. And the first country that we're talking about, the one with all the growth, it was formerly a colony of which empire? Okay, so the 4 points are for the name of this country, which is the fastest growing economy in the world, what's fueling this growth, which neighbouring country wants a piece of the action, and there is a dispute brewing, let me tell you. And the first country is a colony of who? Back in the day. Okay, so that's question 24. And question 25 is, of course, another picture round. Let's press this button here. Who are these three people? Yeah, Mick, I know the red dots on my glasses. It's the reflection. It's something weird. The anti-reflective coating that I had on these spectacles is losing it, and then it's I don't know. It's really hard to get green screen right unless you really got a lot of control over your lighting, which I kind of do, but whatever. I mean, there's a lot of hotness on screen right now, obviously. Who are those three people? None of them are Charles Manson. Let me be clear about that. Is there? Come on. Leave them on screen, because you know what happens now, right? We are moving on to the infamous platypus round. And if you were here last time, you will know why this graphic is is the one we use for the platypus round currently. The short answer is that Midjourney is an artificial intelligence completely incapable of creating a picture of a platypus. And in the process of trying to create a platypus TV quizmaster, I somehow got to that. So Witastiaman. Yeah, that's the quiz. The platypus round, again, if you're new to this particular quiz, it is 3 questions created by Snarky Platypus. He will always run them with a theme, and these questions are always long and hard. So if you get any of these points, it'll be tough. Actually, no, we're going to make it a bit easier this week. So Australia, in the early part of the new year, in March, will be celebrating or commemorating 50 years of ASEAN relations. So ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and Australia. We should say Australia is not a member of this organisation, but Australia has been meeting with them or whatever for 50 years now. And most, if not all, of the leaders from the ASEAN countries will be coming to Australia to go to this meeting, 4th, 5th and 6th of March. Other Westerners will come, of course, too. And as we keep saying, the knowledge of our nearby neighbours is sometimes a bit patchy. So these 5 questions are all about ASEAN countries. And to make it a bit easier, we're going to tell you now the 10 ASEAN countries. So you may want to jot these down. You may want to just remember them because you'll be asking certain questions. So it is an ASEAN country. It's going to be one of these 10. And they are, in alphabetical order, Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, depending on whose accent you go with, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. Okay, I'll run through them again. Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. Okay, they're the ASEAN countries. I probably should have just put them on a slide on screen, eh? But there you go. So here go the questions. Question 26. There's 2 countries that are officially seeking to join ASEAN. Point each, what are those 2 countries? What are the 2 countries that are officially wanting to join ASEAN? So not one of the, neither of them are in the 10 I read out, right? You understand what we're doing here. Yeah, good. Question 27, there's editorialising from the platypus here. ASEAN has some of the world's largest and most interesting cities to visit. For 6 points, name the 6 biggest cities in ASEAN. Again, any order here is fine. The top 6 cities by population as opposed to depth under the water. That's a clue for one of them. But there are 6 cities here, the biggest ones. What are the biggest 6 cities in ASEAN? There's a lot of points up for grabs in the platypus round. That's certainly the... 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, what? Oh! I only read out 9 of the country names. There's Vietnam as well. Shit. Okay, this is really important. As well as the 9 countries I read out, there is also Vietnam. This is caused by me being unable to copy-paste between 2 different documents. Okay? Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand. I'll put it in now. Vietnam. Yeah, that'll come in. This will become important at some point. Very quickly again, question 26 is, what are the 2 countries wanting to join ASEAN? Question 27, the 6 biggest cities in ASEAN. Now question 28, there's a lot of thinking and writing here. I should have pictures of platypus swimming to keep you amused while we go through all this. Question 28. More editorialising. The idea of national and official languages are fraught in a region with complex multi-ethnic and multicultural societies. However, 4 ASEAN countries do share an official/national language. Okay, so 4 countries all have a particular language as an official or national language. So 5 points here. What is that language and which 4 countries have it as an official language? So the concept of an official language means a language in which official business, government business, the legal system, etc., can be transacted. And a national language is, a bit more patriotic. Well, nationalism, you know what nationalism is. But 4 countries actually have a language that is common across all of them in officialness. So what's that language and what are the 4 countries? That's question 28. Question 29. Most ASEAN countries have transitioned to a system of elected parliaments with various levels of political freedom. There's It's a euphemism. Yeah. But 4 ASEAN countries officially retain monarchies as part of their political structure. What are those 4 countries that still have some monarchy in them? Don't worry, it'll wash out. This is a, yeah, I reckon you should all be able to get these. There are 4 countries in ASEAN that still have some monarchy. What are those 4 countries? That's question 29. And question 30. First, the editorialising. Australia has a strong immigration relationship with ASEAN countries, with over 1 million people in Australia having been born in ASEAN countries, and they and their descendants form a strong part of Australian society today. Makes you proud, doesn't it? There are 3 ASEAN countries in Australia's top 10 countries of overseas born people. So this is the ancestry question in the census. Of the top 10 countries from which people have come to Australia, as in they were born in these other countries and they've come here, 3 of those countries in the top 10 are ASEAN countries. Which 3? I mean, the UK and Ireland, obviously. Germany. I mean, they're not in ASEAN, but I don't think Germany's in the top 10 either. UK and Ireland will be. New Zealand's not in ASEAN. Three ASEAN countries in Australia's top 10 migrant intake. You'll be pleased to hear this is question 30 and it's the end of the platypus round. Yeah, exciting stuff. Let me find my switcher, which has gone to the screen. As I said last week, I still haven't quite worked out the best way to arrange all of the little things in front of me when doing this, because I want to have the script in kind of line of sight, but I also don't want to, and the chat, but I don't want to have other things too difficult to find and get to. It's a bit of a problem. Okay, let's go back to part 2. Hey, we'll get to those blokes eventually. I'd rather not have to see them. You ready to roll through? Okay, we're rolling back to question 16, the media questions, right? Question 16, Love is in the Air. The singer who starred in it is Delta Goodrem. Delta Goodrem for a point. And her job in the film is as a pilot. I mean, technically a seaplane pilot, but pilot will be fine. She's chief pilot for this little company with, I think, at aircraft. Anyway, she flies tourists around far north Queensland, and the premise is that there's some investment company buying them out and they're going to shut it down to write off a loss or something. So they send out a British chap, I think he's British, to inspect them and organise closing them down. But of course a romance develops between her and the... look for the trailer on YouTube. It's called Love is in the Air. I won't play the trailer now because I think it'll trigger a copyright problem. But Delta Goodrem and Pilot are your 2 points there. Question 17, the Melbourne Open. 1 point each for these 4 facts. Novak Djokovic, Serbia, Aryna Sabalenka, and Belarus. I will leave you to judge whether you got the names right as such. The countries are obvious, Serbia and Belarus, but Novak Djokovic and Aryna Sabalenka are the names you're after. Question 18, best pop release was Kylie Minogue with a point and Padam Padam or Padam Padam or Pay Damn, whatever. Kylie Minogue Padam padam, 1 point each there. Question 19 is the mother and son question. Your 5 points here are for the following facts. 1984 is when Mother and Son was first produced. The stars in that first one were, of course, Ruth Cracknell and Gary MacDonald. Ruth Cracknell and Gary MacDonald. And in the new series, it is Denise Scott and Matt O'Kine. It's spelt O-K-I-N-E. I don't care how you spelt it because I can't see what you've written down. Denise Scott and Matt O'Kine. So there was 5 points available there. And then the question 20 is this picture round. On the left, there's 1 point each for these people. That is Margot Robbie, Australian actor Margot Robbie on the left. That picture's from a little while ago. This year, of course, she played Barbie in a movie called Barbie, about a doll called Barbie. I haven't seen it. Apparently it's great fun. So that's Margot Robbie there on the left. In the middle is Gold Logie racist Sonia Kruger. That's Sonia Kruger in the middle. Yes, she did win the Gold Logie for I don't know why. They vote, don't they? No, Joanna Forbes, no points for Norman Gunston. Fucking hell. Sorry, but no, Norman Gunston is a character from a completely different series, played by the same actor, Gary MacDonald. But, you know, do try and tell the difference between fiction and reality. On the right, that is Celia Pacquola. Celia Pacquola. Anyway, she's an actor. She has hosted TV things. You will know her from Rosehaven. She hosted Have You Been Paying Attention, which came back this year. John Avocado asks, can I have a point for Kerry-Anne Kennelly since they're the exact same racist? You'd have half a point for Kerry-Anne Kennelly. Kennelly? Yeah. Right, on to question 21. The Rohingya people are refugees from Myanmar. Myanmar for the point. I'll let you have half a point for Burma, maybe. Although the whole point is, yeah, it's trying to make Burma Burmese. Yeah, half a point for Burma. And Islam is the religion that most of them will be followers of. So Myanmar and Islam. Question 22, the top 3 lithium producing countries. Well, in order, they are Australia, Chile and China. You'll get the points if you had them. Doesn't matter what order you had them in. The US is down a bit. I find this amusing from this company said, we haven't told you the American ones because it's proprietary company data. And I said, well, just get a different data source. It's not like there's secret lithium. Americans and their commercial inconfidence. Anyway, Australia, Chile and China are the 3 countries for the 3 points. The order does not matter. This is question 23 now. The first international leader to address the PNG Parliament was Anthony Albanese this year. So Ablo for a point. And the PM of Papua New Guinea is James Marape. If you had Marape, I'll get it, but James Marape is his name with all the bits. You judge whether you got it or not. I mean, yeah, James Marape. Okay, question 24. The country with the highest GDP growth is Guyana, Guyana, on the north coast of South America. Guyana for the point. Why? Oil for the point. It is fueling the growth. That wasn't meant to be a hint. That was just what I'd written down because I'm an idiot. Guyana and oil. The country next door that is gearing up for an invasion is Venezuela. In fact, they're claiming to run a vote to say that this whole chunk of Guyana west of a particular river should in fact be part of Venezuela. And some people, including the United Nations, think that it shouldn't be the citizens of Venezuela who vote about whether some other country is part of Venezuela or not. A lot of that going on in the world at the moment, isn't it? Anyway, Venezuela, and it was Guyana was a British colony. It used to be called a British Guyana. So anyway, the 4 points there are Guyana, oil, Venezuela, and Britain. Look that up. There's a whole thing going on at the moment. Yeah. And the picture round, question 25. Here you go. It's baldish chaps time. On the left, that is the late Evgeny Prigozhin, hot dog seller, criminal, founder of the Wagner mercenary group, rebel leader against Vladimir Putin, and who was totally forgiven, and then a short time later his aircraft accidentally exploded, which happens. Very tall windows in aircraft. Evgeny Prigozhin, for the point, I'll give you half a point for Putin's chef, half a point for boss of the Wagner Group, etc., etc. In the middle, that is Olaf Scholz, Chancellor of Germany. Olaf Scholz, Chancellor of Germany. In the middle there. And on the right, that is Jack Dorsey, one of the two original founders of Twitter and one of, I think, the original CEO. He also founded Square, which is that payments terminal system thing. But that is Jack Dorsey, who, yes, effectively allowed Twitter to go private and sold to that other bloke, the man whose name we won't mention just now because he really is a cunt. And he otherwise does not appear in this thing. So the 3 points there, Evgeny Prigozhin, Olaf Scholz, and Jack Dorsey. And then we go on to the platypus round, and yeah, this is just something we have to deal with, isn't it? Okay, sorry again for fucking up the questions here. That really was sloppy. That really was sloppy. Question 26. The two countries wanting to join ASEAN are Timor-Leste, I will allow East Timor, you can say it in English if you're speaking English, or Papua New Guinea. They're the 2 points. Should be and. Timor-Leste and Papua New Guinea are wanting to join ASEAN. Vietnam's already there. Did you know that? Question 27. The 6 biggest cities in ASEAN. You can have them in any order, but this is in the order that they actually are. Jakarta is the biggest. Ho Chi Minh City is next, or you can call it Saigon if you want. I was there and I was told that only old people call it Ho Chi Minh City. For some value of old. Then after that, it's Hanoi, which is also in Vietnam. Did you know Vietnam is part of ASEAN? Then Manila, then Bangkok, and then Surabaya, which is in Indonesia. So Jakarta, Saigon, Hanoi, Manila, Bangkok, Surabaya, any order will do. Question 28, the complicated language question. There are 5 points up for grabs here, and I have a note about strict interpretation. You can call the language Malay, or you can call it Bahasa. You must have one of those two for the point. Calling it Malaysian or Indonesian will not get you a point. Okay, sorry, that's written down it's written down in the script in front of me. I have to, this is the platypus round, platypus rules follow. The 4 countries where Malay or Bahasa is an official / national language are Brunei, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore. Okay, so there's your 5 points. Bahasa, Brunei, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore. Okay, question 29. Which are the 4 countries that still have a little bit of monarchy going on there? They are Brunei. You may have heard of the Sultan of Brunei. Cambodia has a king. Malaysia, it has a whole bunch of sultans. And Thailand, which certainly has a king. When he's... What? No, I won't say that. So the 4 points there: Brunei, Cambodia, Malaysia, and Thailand. 1 point each. And question 30, the 3 ASEAN countries which are in the top 10 list for people born in those countries now living in Australia. They are Philippines, which is at number 5 on the list. Vietnam at number 6 on the list. You may have heard Vietnam is now part of ASEAN. And Malaysia at number 8. So Philippines, Vietnam and Malaysia. Doesn't matter the order you had them, but those are the 3 countries you were after. So through all of that, there is in part 2 there a possible 35 points. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Let me check. I haven't updated the script from last time. 50 points in that section. That's the guts of it. So there was 20 points in the first bit and then 50 points in that bit. So now if you're reporting your total, it is out of 70 points. What am I doing here? I want to hit that button and I want to just also go... you can tip me if you like later up. So while you're doing your adding up there, you're looking at 50 points were in section 2 there, 20 in the first part, total of 70. If you've got anything over 30, I think you're doing really well. Dr. Ms. Cat doing better on the platypus round than any of the rest of the quiz. Mr. Avocado at 24, Pete Sandlin's 25 for the section. Mr. Avocado's total of 24. Chris Roberts, 35 out of 70. Well done. Well done. That's 50% in. It's doing really well. Yeah, stilgarian.com/tip. If you're enjoying this, I'll put that up again at the end. It's basically, you know, chuck a couple of bucks in if you've enjoyed the evening. It takes a while to put together. A lot of faffing around with the imagery too. What S18 total 23, Wade total 20, Pete Sandlin's total 31. So it's still good. Chris Roberts appears to be in the lead with 35 total. Robotica 31. That's pretty good. 33 out of 75 for Jim Campbell. Again, this is great stuff. Obviously, that lag thing I spoke about earlier is making it difficult for me to see all that. Look, it'll come through on the chat. You're seeing it. Oberon's Ghost, 37 here, plus 8, 45 out of 70. 45 out of 70. Oberon's Ghost. That is an unheard of score. Well, except when what's that New Zealand prick's name? Juha Saarinen. Yeah, he was it. But what he play? He is viciously good at this kind of quiz. Okay, let's go on with the next bit. I want that to have the section 3 things happening. Yes, I'll take that off screen. And off we go. The next section from question 31 on is the geography round. People like this. I like this. I was thinking of becoming a cartographer back when I was in my teens. Should have now. Look at how mapping and Google Maps and all that shit was kicked off. The other thing I did, of course, was computing science and linguistics, and look where computational linguistics is these days. I ended up working in the media. How stupid was that. Question 31. Which city is further south? Perth in Western Australia or Cape Town in South Africa? Which of those two cities is further south? Perth in Western Australia or Cape Town in South Africa? Question 32. What percentage of the Netherlands land area is below sea level? You know, the Netherlands, Holland, Low Countries, all right. And I'll give you some numbers to choose from, because I see people arguing about, oh, is it 7% or 6.4% or whatever? Okay. Is it, and now this is, of the Netherlands land area, what proportion is below sea level? Is it 15%? Is it 25%? Is it 35%? Or is it 45%? So it's not half. I saw some bullshit YouTube thing where people, 70% of it is below sea level. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's either 15%, 25%, 35%, or 45%. Which is it? That's question 32. Question 33. List all of the countries that start with the letter P. 1 point for each. I will not tell you how many points that is just yet, but you'll get a point each for all of the countries starting with the letter P. The usual rules for countries recognised by the UN, blah, 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 listed by Encyclopedia Britannica, all of that. What counts as a country? Vietnam is not one of them. Vietnam does not start with a P. Ho Chi Minh City, no P. Saigon, no P. Hanoi, no P. Phnom Penh, though, Cambodia, plenty of P. Bangkok, no P. Okay, countries that start with the letter P. So I'm just rearranging things here. That's question 33, by the way. Question 34. Fraser Island off the coast of southern Queensland has been, renamed, previous rename. It's had its Indigenous name reattached to it officially. What is that name? What is the Indigenous name of Fraser Island? That was all done formally earlier this year. Fraser Island is also known as, previously known as, I'm just trying to, reflections. Question 35, of course, is the infamous map question. And this is how this works. There is a map currently on your screen. As you can see, it's across the middle bit of Africa. I have numbered, oh no, that's right. I was about to say there's a mistake in the numbering. No, there's not. There's the country that is numbered 8 actually consists of 2 disjoint pieces, and they're both numbered 8. So there are countries there labelled with numbers, and I'm going to read out the names of 5 countries, and you've just got to write down the corresponding number. Okay, pretty straightforward. Find the countries on the map, and I'll call them A, B, C, D, and E, or I'll call them Gabon, Central African Republic, Cameroon, Republic of the Congo, or Angola, because that's what their names are. So the first country is Gabon, G-A-B-O-N. The second country is Central African Republic. The third country is Cameroon. The fourth country is Republic of the Congo. And those of you who know your African geography will know that I have been very careful about what I'm saying here, because I said Republic of the Congo. And the fifth one is Angola. Yep, everyone happy there? Gabon, Central African Republic, Cameroon, Republic of the Congo, and Angola. Shall we leave that one up a little bit longer? Just a few more seconds. Quite a lot of people live in this part of the world, as well as in Vietnam. Okay, that's enough of the map for now. We now move on to another special subject round, and I have chosen for this round clocks. Clocks. Things that you tell the time with. So, for question 36, who was the first scientist to properly study pendulums in detail, and indeed was the one who worked out that the swing of a pendulum takes the same amount of time, whether it's moving a little bit or a lot bit? Who figured that out? Or first, who noticed it and wrote it down, more importantly? Who was that scientist who did the pendulum thing? Question 37, where would I find a gnomon? G-N-O-M-O-N, a gnomon, which, although it has that n sound in it, is not a Vietnamese word. Gnomon, G-N-O-M-O-N. Where would I find one of them? Question 38. This is the famous Swiss railway clock. A much copied design. I would like to know the decade it was designed in. I was going to ask which year was it designed in. I thought, no, that's a bit fierce. Which decade was it designed in? And for the purposes of a decade, I will count, what the third digit in it. So, for example, if it was designed in the 2010s, that would be from 2010 to 2019. Okay, I know there's a whole thing about what the decade is. As it happens, it's not critical for the interpretation of the actual answer for this question. So, we could save a good deal of bother there. But in what decade was the famous Swiss railway clock designed? Question 39, there is a standard clock to which all other clocks are in theory set, and that clock is the NIST F1 cesium fountain atomic clock. And that is the master timekeeping atomic clock. Where can you find it? I'll explain. The more accuracy, the better. And we'll figure out how to do points when we get to that. Where is the NIST F1 cesium fountain atomic clock? That's question 39. And question 40, picture round. Where are these clocks? 3 clocks of varying fame levels. Where are those 3 clocks? And you're all doing so well. Don't clock it up now. You knew I was just going to have to do that at some point, right? I was just going to have to say it. Wade Bomer, I see earlier you were, also talking about how long the lag is on YouTube, and that is quite true. And I do understand that, for video streaming services that are oriented a bit more towards gamers, they do them with lower lag. I have looked at some of that, and I'm really not happy with the image quality that you get. I mean, one of the reasons YouTube has a long lag is so that it can build up a nice fat buffer, so that little glitches here and there don't cause jumps and problems and whatever. And the internet's a bit shit, isn't it? But there you go. I keep using YouTube because people can most people have YouTube accounts. If you start wanting to use Twitch or Facebook streaming or whatever, then you get into more problematic availability issues. Anyway, where are those 4 clocks? That is question 40. And now we launch into the final round. Question 41. This is all a bit of a mess. Which nationality drinks the most gin in terms of litres per person per year? So, which nationality drinks the most gin in litres per person per year? Yeah, pick a country. Pick a country. Pick the correct country and you get a point. Pick the wrong country, you will not get a point. Which country, nationality, nation, drinks the most gin? Question 42. Who is the Prime Minister of New Zealand? Might as well just do Prime Ministers, right? Question 42. Who is the Prime Minister of New Zealand? Question 43. Whose name is an anagram of Hank Sirius? I love it when this one popped up. Hank Sirius. Unscramble the letters. Who is that? Get a little more time with this. Wait, as you know, Twitch lag about 2 seconds, but aggressive with video quality. Most viewers don't care, do they? Or do they? I don't know. It shits me to have everything go to fucking pixels. I don't know. It's possibly because the audience there are more people of the I don't know, gamer demographic. There is no gamer demographic because fucking people from all over the shop play different kinds of games. But I don't know. I'm YouTube, whatever. Anyway, Hank Sirius, that's question 43. Question 44 is always the city question. Which city is that? I think there's I do make these, not the completely obvious ones like, oh, that's the Eiffel Tower, it's Paris, or something like that. I try and make them a little more challenging, but I reckon there's sufficient clues there. What city is that? And on to the 2-point finale. 2 points, so that all ends up being 100 points total at the end. It's always what or who or where or how is La Prairie Basin, La Prairie Basin, La Prairie Basin, is it one of the following three things? Is La Prairie Basin a bathroom thing? It's where you have often a very fancy wash basin sitting on top of a sideboard instead of like a sink that's sunk into it. So, right, you know the sort of things I mean. So is that a La Prairie Basin? La Prairie being one of the more fashionable manufacturers of these things in 19th century Paris. Is the La Prairie Basin a mathematical concept named after French scientist Benoit La Prairie, and it's the inflection point between increasing and decreasing slope values in polynomial surfaces of 3 or more dimensions. Is that the La Prairie Basin? You know, so you've got the whole thing about how the universe is that saddle shape if you try and map it on 2 dimensions when it's really 11? Is it just 11 or 15? I can't remember how many dimensions it is. It's a lot. Anyway, or is it C? Is it part of the St. Lawrence River, or more technically the St. Lawrence Seaway? After you leave Montreal Harbour, the La Prairie Basin is the next kind of bit of the St. Lawrence Seaway you get through after passing through the first lock. It's about 4.6 metres, I think, up to the La Prairie Basin. So, yeah, is it A, French-inspired bathroom fittings, B, a mathematical concept, or C, part of the St. Lawrence River? A, B, or C, that'll be 2 points. I think I've crapped on enough there, so let's roll back and do the answers. So we're looking at another 30 points in this section to bring you up to 100 points total. Question 31, the further south, I only listed 2. The answer is Cape Town, which is nearly 34 degrees south, 33 degrees 55 minutes, whereas Perth is not even 32 degrees south, it's 31, 57 and 21 seconds. So Cape Town for the point. What percentage of the Netherlands is below sea level? 25% for the point. It's nearly getting on towards 26% now, depending on how you measure it, because of course they're recovering stuff all the time. So 25% for the point. List all the countries that start with the letter P, 1 point each. There are 9 of them, so there's 9 points up for grabs here. And I'll go through them in alphabetical order. Pakistan, Palau, P-A-L-A-U, that's an archipelago of over 500 islands in Micronesia. Panama, Papua New Guinea, Paraguay, Peru, Philippines, Poland, Portugal, and Vietnam. Okay, I'll run through them again. There's 9 of them apart from Vietnam. I know. Pakistan, Palau, Panama, Papua New Guinea, Paraguay, Peru, Philippines, Poland, and Portugal. That was 33. Question 34. Fraser Island is also known as Gari, which is spelt K''Gari. Gari. Gari, K-G-A-R-I, whatever. You either knew it or you didn't. I didn't until I looked it up. Question 35, the map question. Okay, here we go. The numbers you want to have written down are 5, 2, 1, 6, 8. But I'll go through them properly. Gabon is 5. Central African Republic, 2. Cameroon, 1. Republic of the Congo is 6. Not to be confused, and I did not ask this, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, which is 7. And Angola is number 8. split into 2 bits by the river that comes down from the DRC. So the numbers, your numbers again are 5, 2, 1, 6, and 8. And your supplementary number is 3. 3 is South Sudan. 4 is Equatorial Guinea. No points for these, obviously. And I've told you about the rest. Lovely. That's the map. Question 36 is the start of the clock bits. The scientist is Galileo Galilei. Galileo Galilei for the point. You can just say Galileo. That's fine. He was a bit of a swinging guy. Question 37. Where would you find a gnomon? The answer is on a sundial. A gnomon is the triangular sticky uppy bit on a sundial that casts the shadow that allows you to read the sundial. So sundial is the answer there. Question 38, the railway clock. The 1940s will get you a point. The year, in fact, was 1944. Everyone else is busy having a war. Switzerland, they were just cashing it in and designing new clocks for the railway system. So a point there for the 1940s. Question 39, the NIST F1 cesium fountain atomic clock. Okay, for the full point, it's in Boulder, Colorado. Boulder, Colorado. NIST is the National Institute of Standards and Technology. That's there in the name. No points for that. But full point for Boulder, Colorado. 3/4 of a point for Colorado. Half a point for America. How's that? I don't know why I'm doing 0.75 of a point, but yeah, Boulder, Colorado for the full point, Colorado for 0.75 of a point, the United States of America for half a point. And question 40, my mouse is playing up today. Question 40, I think it's got cat fur in it. You know, that whole thing that happens. Okay, these clocks, 3 points up for grabs here. They are in Prague, in Czechia. That is the astronomical clock in Prague. The one in the middle, that is in Moscow. That is the one on the cathedral-y thingy in Moscow. And the one on the right is in Hobart. And if you're going, what the fuck? That is the Cat and Fiddle clock in the Cat and Fiddle arcade. And on the hour, it chimes, and hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon, some sort of bullshit, and around it goes. There's videos of it on YouTube. Anyway, Hobart is the answer there. So Prague, Moscow, and Hobart. Which nationality drinks the most gin? This surprised me. It's Spain. This is from, worldatlas.com, and they did tell me where they got these figures from. Spain tops the list way out, 1.07 litres of gin per person per year, and obviously a lot of people don't drink gin at all, but that's it. And this is the list, the most recently available one was 2017, so it may have changed a bit, probably gone up given the gin explosion. Several factors have contributed to this high consumption of gin in Spain. One, high unemployment rates, and the Spanish culture sees that gin has an artistic thing, is it, and that's celebrated. So being unemployed and drinking gin is a thing, apparently. There are retail outlets that deal exclusively with gin. Popularity has been going up. And a really frightening fact here is that the most widely consumed gin in Spain is Beefeater gin, which is really quite depressing because that's, oh God, yeah, bottom shelf gin, that one. Okay, Spain, then Belgium, then the Netherlands, then the UK. Obviously, most of the gin in the world comes from the UK, but it's exported, and of course the Brits themselves drink an awful lot of beer. Again, coming into this though, of course they drink more there. You don't drink litres of gin. You might have a couple of litres of beer in a solid night, but you don't have a couple of litres of gin in the evening, usually, unless you're mad. Okay, that was question 41. Question 42, who is the Prime Minister of New Zealand? Christopher Luxon, Luxon. Good luck, son. Good luck, son. Good. You had some Luxon that question. So, I'm sorry. Question 43, whose name is an anagram of Hank Sirius? It is Rishi Sunak. Another Prime Minister, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Hank Sirius. Another anagram is Raisin Hunk. Raisin as in a dried grape, and hunk. So, I know. Rishi Sunak, Raisin Hunk. There you go. The next one, question 44. Which city is that? That is Kyoto in Japan. The main giveaway there is probably, you can see about a third of the way in from the left, that multi-terraced temple. That's a fairly distinctive thing. Obviously that tower in the background too, and the mountains, but that's Kyoto there. Everyone's Ghost wants half a point for some bloke in New Zealand as the PM. I mean, quarter of a point, I think, because really somebody was PM, right? And it's roughly going to be some bloke or some chick, right? I mean, binary speaking, okay, it's not, slightly left. The numbers are not there. It's more likely to be a bloke than a not bloke. So it definitely it definitely doesn't get you a point by just saying a bloke. So a quarter of a point. Some bloke, New Zealand passports, bad pun is bad. Excellent. We're there. And the 2-point finale. The answer is C. La Prairie Basin is there. That's La Prairie Basin there. The other two things I just completely made up. So C, the St. Lawrence Seaway, is the answer there. So the next thing you should be doing is totaling up your scores. It's out of 30 for that final section, and out of 100 for the total numbers. So I'm interested to see what you got. If you found any bits particularly good, particularly bad, particularly challenging, that you're really happy with, do throw that in the chat too. Oh, Dr. Ms. Cat has said, can I get a clarification on whether People's Republic of China counts for a country starting with a P? Shit, I mean it does, doesn't it? Although we just call it China. Yeah, go for the point. I think you should. So yeah, I'll watch this for any other clarifications as we come through. Chris Roberts screaming through 54 out of 100. That is fabulous. Avocado 40.5 out of 100. Still pretty good. Yeah, I'll there's the tip thing. I'll leave that up while we're chatting and looking for any adjudication that's required. 25.25 overall for Joanna Forbes. Excellent. Yeah, a bit of 26 for Way. Yeah, yeah, all right. Pete Sandler's 39 out of 100. Yeah. Quite a wider spread this time, I think, than compared with last time. Let me also mention that the 9 p.m. Summer Series crowdfunding campaign did contribute to this. Still toying with the idea of whether I do a couple more in the new year. I mean, I might. I did last year. I did a couple in January. There is another podcast episode coming out tomorrow with Snarky Platypus. We recorded that on Boxing Day, and it was a bit shambolic in places, but I will be editing that tomorrow, and I hope to get it on the line by the evening. Jim Campbell wants a clarification. If you got the countries in the ASEAN language selection right without getting the correct language, yes, that's the correct interpretation. You didn't need to get the language right to get the countries right. For example, you could have picked, well, no, I won't say that. So if you got the 4 if you got the 4 countries, or 3 if you got 3 of them, or whatever. Redfern might write 4 out of 100. You got Gnomon. These are pretty tough. I'm sorry. Mike. Actually, I'm not sorry. The challenge is getting them, and that's part of the fun. If you have suggestions for podcast guests, because there will be 3 more special guest episodes in the summer series in the second half of January and into February. I'm not sure exactly when yet. I'm going to have a bit of a rest thing and knock off some client work in the very first part of January because reasons. And there'll be perhaps a solo episode, perhaps a platypus episode of the pod as well. The quiz will keep perhaps going on. 2 or 3. Harder this time up. Leave the map up for longer next time. Noted. Dr. Muscat, yes. Guess, do I take plebs? It depends on how plebby, really. There's possibility. I mean, I usually look for people with a particular focus in. So with the platypus, we talk about politics and pop music and Southeast Asian culture and other windy things. And, excuse me, I've got a cough. Yeah, talking for 2 hours does your throat in a bit. It's quite a while. I didn't take any breaks, really. So, I think you've posted all your scores up there. Jim Campbell getting 54. See, that's good. There's some great 55.25 Oberon's Ghost. That is superb. Can't do anagrams? Yeah. All right, I've noticed about leaving them up longer. I can shuffle the order of the questions in. I may do some more. Just subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you'll obviously get notifications when I schedule any more live streams. But that's kind of it. Thank you very much, and see you on the flip side.
The 8 p.m. quiz is a Skank Media production. Sorry.